Good evening, Nigerians at home and in the diaspora. Welcome to Voice of the People Television, where we give you more than a voice. You're now tuned into the political lens, and like I always tell you, this is not just another talk show. This is where power meets truth, and the truth doesn't falter. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm your host for today. Now on Political Lens tonight, as always, we're asking the hard questions. Who is really working for the people and who is just trying to satisfy their selfish ambitions? Why are the promises many, but the progress is few? In a country where politicians talk more than they act and the people are told to be patient while mismanagement and misappropriation continues, we're not here to sugarcoat or to play safe. We're here to hold power accountable to the people. Now let's get into it. Amid growing fears of implosion in the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, a chieftain of the party and former secretary to the government of the Federation SGF, Dr. Babachir Lawal, has formally bowed out of the party. However, contrary to speculation, the renowned technocrat and politician said he has not aligned with any political party yet. Babachir Lawal resigned from the APC in a letter to the chairman of Bankshika ward of Hung local government area of Adamawa State. With his exit, fears of implosion have become high in the ruling party on the fate that may befall the party before the 2023 general elections due to growing ill feelings and dissent among the members, especially in the northern part of the country. Meanwhile, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, has said that true leadership demands sacrifice, stressing that any Nigerian president must be willing to lay down his life if his citizens are dying. Now, speaking during an appearance on Channels Television Sunday Politics, Obi criticized what he described as the Tinubu administration's lack of empathy and prioritization, arguing that compassion and not nonchalance should define the presidency. The former Anambra State governor said that leadership is not about luxury, recalling his own time in office where he rejected extravagance in favor of service. Obi also accused President Bola Tinubu of being unfeeling in the face of national tragedies, citing the president's decision to vacation in Lagos in December 2024, while families in Ibadan had mourned children killed in a stampede at a Christmas party. He further criticized President Tinubu's response to attacks in Benue State, alleging that despite visiting the state, the president failed to reach the hardest hit community of Yelwata, where suspected herdsmen had killed scores of people. The president's team had attributed his absence to poor road conditions and flooding. Peter Obi, who served as governor of Anambra State from 2006 to 2014, clarified that he remains a committed member of the Labour Party despite his involvement with the newly formed opposition coalition under the African Democratic Congress, that is the ADC. He also explained that his participation in the coalition was not an act of disloyalty to the Labour Party. Right now, we'll take a quick look at this short video, courtesy of Channels Television, and then the conversation continues.
Buy a new jet,
even if you need one.
I don't need one. You don't need one because you can go to anywhere with that jet. I will never need one.
You fly Airpeace, you fly Ghana, you fly
Of course, baby. Shehu, I will not use 150 billion to buy a jet when 80% of our primary healthcare centers are not functioning.
Even as against security protocols.
Which security?
You've been a governor, you know what it means.
No, what do you mean, security? That's what they tell. That's nonsense they tell. I was a governor for my first 4 years. I drove 406. For the rest of it, I didn't have bulletproof cars. Nobody's trying to kill you. You're doing the right thing. It's when you do the wrong thing that you're about that.
Would security agency even allow
you forget all those things. If your people are dying, you should be ready to die. That's the job you chose. Or you go back to your house and live quietly. The president
was Peter Obi speaking on what he would do differently as Nigeria's president. You're watching the Political Lens on Voice of the People Television. Now to discuss these issues on the Political Lens this evening, I'm being joined virtually by our guest, Honorable Jonathan Ashake, the 2023 Labour Party governorship candidate for Kaduna State and the past president of the Southern Kaduna People's Union. It is an honor to have you here this evening, Honorable. Good evening to you. How are you doing today? Honorable, please unmute your microphone so that I can hear you.
Yeah, I've done just that. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Honorable. How are you doing today? It's quite a pleasure to see you.
I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be here with you too.
Thank you so much. Let's begin from the event of the past week where Peter Obi joined political heavyweights like presidential candidate of the PDP in 2023. That's Atiku Abubakar, including El-Rufai, Amechi, former Senator David Mark, and others to declare for the opposition coalition under the vehicle of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and how the Julius Abure faction of the Labour Party responded to that last Thursday by giving him 48 hours to resign from the party. One question I asked then was, why not expel him? Of course, did you know that the Nenadi Usman Caretaker Committee came out to say that Peter Obi did speak with them and that they endorsed his joining the ADC opposition coalition. Right now, he said he remains a member of the Labour Party. But what is your assessment of this? Doesn't he seem to be one leg in and one leg out, especially since he has a presidential ambition under the ADC in 2027?
Well, there is no ambiguity in what is going on. His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, the leader of our party, the Labour Party, is still a member of the Labour Party. In fact, he's our leader in the Labour Party. By the Umuahia meeting of the NEC that appointed the caretaker committee of the Labour Party, led by distinguished Senator Nenadi Usman and Senator Darlington as secretary, this caretaker committee has is the rightful official of the Labour Party, and so nobody has got the single right in the party to pronounce an expulsion on the leader of our party, that is Mr. Peter Obi, or any other person for now. And so please just discountenance that one. These are not even the issues. Maybe the issue is about the coalition and what it stands for and where we're headed as members of the party, as leaders of the party, and in relation to the coalition. I think that is the issue right now.
Being in the ADC, does that mean we might see you as well saying that you actually want to join that opposition coalition? Because like you said, Peter Obi is the leader of the Labour Party, but right now he's fraternizing with the opposition coalition under the ADC. Is that not enough for those in the Labour Party to actually be wary or to be sad or to be annoyed, like Julius Abure obviously is? No,
you see, the reasons that make everyone to be in that coalition, different reasons, different people there have different reasons. For Peter Obi, his job is not just about removing President Bola Tinubu from office, no. Peter Obi, from day one, when he started his campaigns as a presidential candidate in 2023, from day one, in 2022-2023, he made it known that this is what he has. This is his own vision and mission, you know, as he campaigns to be president of the nation. He stressed it that he wants to see a Nigeria that moves from consumption to production. He wants to see a Nigeria that is lifted out of poverty and many more. So it is about somebody who has a clear vision of what his leadership wants to take the country to. It's not about an angry person that is just trying to remove another leader without an idea of what he wants to be. So he is still a member of the Labour Party. But because the Labour Party, just like any other party, even the PDP or any other party, is actually shaking in its foundation, and he has to contest under a political party. So if there is a coming together of groups of people, and they call him, and they are looking for alternatives, and they are looking for ways of getting a political party that he can realize this ambition and give Nigeria the required leadership that we need in this 21st century. And so there's nothing wrong in having that discussion and exploring those possibilities. So I think he's exploring possibilities in that coalition. It is not that he has left the Labour Party and he is with ADC, but he's exploring that possibility because he knows that as a person, Nigerians believe in him. Nigerians believe in his performance. Nigerians believe in his vision. Nigerians believe in his credibility and suitability. And this was tested in the last election, where he picked a party that didn't have any structures, and everybody knew about it. And the party was not known, but he pulled over 6 million votes, just like others that have been there. So I think it is good to explore any avenue that will give Nigerians their voice, their franchise to vote and get the right leader that will take Nigeria out of this predicament we have found ourselves.
Does that mean you approve of his alliance with former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai? Quite a number of Nigerians are saying as much as they love Obi, as much as they love Atiku, as much as they're ready to rally around these men, that where they draw the line is actually Nasir El-Rufai. There are people who see him as an extremist. There are people who talk about the events that happened in Southern Kaduna during his administration. You are the past president of the Southern Kaduna People's Union. I would like you to throw more light on that and your own personal sentiment towards him. Does it mean that there are people who do not mind if Obi should rub shoulders with these people as long as they claim that they want to save Nigeria? Even though there are certain Nigerians who also feel that many of these people are the people who put us where we are today.
I have clearly stated this, even at the beginning of our discussion, that everyone that you see there is at the coalition for their own reasons, for their own particular reasons and their own particular interest. But that of Peter Obi, I can tell you, as a member of the Labour Party who was associated with him, is a different one. Now, talking about people like former Governor Nasir El-Rufai of our state, of course, it is true that many people are not very okay with him being there and leading the process because of his antecedents, his past history. However, the coming together of these people, like I said, is that they're exploring a platform. And for Peter Obi, it's a platform to realize his vision. If that is a platform that will make him to realize his vision. Peter Obi is not there. He has never said that he's just there to remove President Tinubu. No. If it's just about removal of President Tinubu, he's there to be elected president so that he can implement his vision. He can implement what he thinks he has in stock for Nigeria as a leader. He is there. If he's elected president, he has a clear vision of what he wants to do. So his own is different. But if you flip back to people like El-Rufai, who has not hidden his intention, that he is there to just remove President Tinubu, and whether the suffering of Nigerians continue, I don't know. He doesn't care. But as long as Tinubu is not there, which means that he has personal scores to settle with the president. And we all know what has happened between the two of them. So Peter Obi is not there because of that. He's exploring a platform. And so the presence of El-Rufai or Atiku or any other person does not affect the direction which Mr. Peter Obi is taking. He has a clear direction where he's going, what he wants to do. He wants a platform. In Nigeria, we do not have independent candidature in the constitution. If we had that provision in the Nigerian constitution, I can tell you, Peter Obi will stand as an independent candidate, and with the teeming support he has from the Nigerian public cut across all the country, with his very wonderful outing in the last election of 2023, with the masses all queuing up behind him, I can tell you that Peter Obi will win his election as an independent candidate, landslide. But because there is no such provision, he has to explore a political party, a platform that he will contest on. And because we still have issues in the Labour Party, remember that after the Supreme Court judgment deciding on either it is Nenadi as a caretaker committee chairman of the Labour Party or Abure as a former chairman, we took this court judgment back to INEC to make pronouncement, and INEC said they will commit the certified true copy we gave them to the legal department of INEC, and they will make their pronouncement. Meanwhile, while they are setting up that, we don't want to be taken unawares, and that is why we are exploring another platform where Mr. Peter Obi, if it does not work the other way, he will find a platform that he can contest this 2027 incoming 2027 election. So that is all about it. So it has nothing to do with Atiku. It has nothing to do with Peter Obi. And mind you, we in the Labour Party, we have told him clearly, we told Peter Obi, we said when we began to hear that there are proposals that he should either deputize Atiku or any other person, we said no. Number one, there is none of them whose performance exceeds that of Peter Obi. And so we know that Peter Obi is there to contest for president. Anything short of that, we will withdraw our own support base and he will be on his own. Then number two, Peter Obi as a candidate will have that there is no alliance between him. He's only exploring that as a platform.
You know, Honorable, I was coming there to talk about the fact that a lot of Nigerians feel that his best bet of getting into Aso Rock is actually deputizing Atiku. The way they had that ticket in 2019, where he was Atiku's running mate, right? Now you're saying that the Labour Party will not even want that for Peter Obi to go and become a vice to anyone. Certain Nigerians feel, because before we come on these programs, we actually try to feel the pulse of Nigerians and conduct polls to know how the people feel about the events currently happening in our political sphere. So many Nigerians feel that the ABC has been beating Atiku at his own game for every election cycle, and it will be easy to beat him again in 2027, while Peter Obi can still regain and surpass that momentum that he had after joining the Labour Party from towards the end of 2022 to 2023, right? But then, Atiku is a northerner. From the whole unofficial agreement, you heard Obi saying that, oh, he can turn around the fortunes of the country in just 4 years, in just one term of presidency. And even if he doesn't win, any southerner should go for one term. Is that something that you also support? If that is the case, then Atiku should not be contesting. Certain people feel he should be playing the role of a big brother.
That is what I was just about to say, where you caught in. That from this agreement, it is a turn of the South. It is a turn of the South. Now we have a southerner in the person of Bola Tinubu, who has been there for over 2 years now. And if he finishes his 4 years, if what the coalition is working on is anything to come by, that means the presidency will still have to remain in the South. And preferably in the South-South, I mean the Southeast, because it's the Southeast that has never been given this chance since 1999. And so Peter Obi comes from the Southeast, and his outing, like I said earlier, in 2023 was so brilliant that we know that if he gets that ticket, even if it's only to complete the 4 years of the south of the southern region, we believe that in those 4 years, Peter Obi would have changed the fortunes of this country and would have set this country on a path of development that any other leader, and would have set the structures of this country and all the institutions, would have strengthened them on a path that any other leader that comes will continue from there. And so that will be after that 2031, that it will be the turn of a northerner. And we will now look for a northerner that understands the game, that understands the politics, understands humanity, understands, development, to come in so that the country can join the Committee of Nations, not in this kind of suffering that everybody has been plunged into.
All right, then one more thing that Peter Obi said. You must have watched his interview yesterday on Channels Television. We did play an excerpt from that interview. He talked about presidential responsibility when he was asked about moving around with security. He talked about how he could not splurge billions on buying a presidential jet. Then the host asked him about moving about with security and, the kind of advice that his security details would give him. He said, a president should be willing to die for his people. That if it comes to that, that means that he himself is ready to die for Nigerians if he were Nigeria's president. But then, shouldn't the president actually be trying to live for his people so that he can continue to be their leader? Because, when the president dies and is no longer on seat, things can become awry so fast, even though the vice president can't take over. Would you say that his passion for Nigeria, or the passion that he's exhibiting to say he wants to make Nigeria better, is actually being pushed to the extreme? Or is this what we need at this moment?
No, you see, if somebody say, I can die for you, it shows the extreme love and passion he has for you. It does not mean literally dying, but if it comes to dying, it means that he is ready to take the shots to die so that you can live. And it means the spirit of extreme sacrifice. And so extreme sacrifice, like if there is fire in a building and there are 1,000 people in that building, and you have firefighters, and they are ready to make that extreme sacrifice. Maybe just about 5 firefighters. And they end up taking all the risks to save 10,000 people in that building. And then 4 of the firefighters have died. I think that is the kind of sacrifice that we need. And that is what he's talking about. So he, in as much as he wants to live for Nigeria and give leadership to Nigeria, but if it means making that extreme sacrifice so that Nigeria can be placed in the path of progress and development, where suffering will not be there anymore, why all these vices that we have today will not be there anymore, where we'll join the Committee of Nations, where our economy will boom again like it used to be, honestly, where our institution will be strong again, he can make that sacrifice. And I know him, and he means it. But what again he's talking about in this extreme sacrifice, Peter Obi, like I said earlier, if it means that there is another arrangement that Peter Obi has to sacrifice, he knows that, look, taking Nigeria out of this difficult situation, and he has to sacrifice even his presidential ambition, he will do it for the sake of Nigeria. So the man is ready to sacrifice anything. And you can see it by his words. You can read his lips anytime. And you can see it by his action. And even by his antecedents. Tell me, if not because of the element of Peter Obi in that coalition. If Peter Obi was not in that coalition, nobody will be talking about that coalition. Because if you take them one by one, you will see their antecedents.
You really think so? Not even with Atiku Abubakar in that coalition, not with Rotimi Amechi, not with Senator David Mark, not with Nasser El-Rufai?
I am telling you, majority of Nigerians today, if it were not because of Peter Obi in that coalition, nobody will be talking about coalition.
You know, in that coalition, Amechi has said that he can be president, and he also said the same thing Obi said last week, that if he becomes president, he would go for only one term. On the weekend, Atiku Abubakar talked about how if he becomes president, corrupt people are going to be punished. There will be no more room for corruption right there. If Amechi is declaring ambition, Atiku will be declaring ambition.
Let's not even go there. All the facts are there. You can read it in internet. But if you take us back to 2015 when the APC came in, check each one of them that is in that coalition today. Check each one of them minus the single Senator David Mark, the former Senate President. Check each one of those leaders in that coalition and see the antecedents. They are the ones that brought us to where we are today. And they are unapologetic about it. Name any one of them.
But if you can remember the names of anyone. But you still don't mind Obi working with them if you feel that they've brought us to where we are today. That's the same concerns that many Nigerians have. How can you be willing to shake hands with the person who brought you to where you are and expect that they also have the same plans like you to lift Nigerians out of poverty? How is that so?
I told you earlier that if there was what we call independent candidature in the Constitution, Obi will not even be talking about Labour Party. Obi will not talk about coalition. Obi will not talk about ADC or PDP or any party. Obi will go as an independent candidate and he will win because he has actually gained the confidence of Nigerians. But because he needs a platform, and our party, we're yet to decide, we're yet to have INEC make their pronouncement, and so he is exploring the ADC, which is another political party. Every one of them, including Atiku or any other person, they are also exploring. But I can tell you that it is Obi that people are expecting to emerge. If he emerges, then that is when Nigerian can make a sigh of relief.
Honorable, does that mean if Obi does not get the presidential ticket of the ADC coalition in 2027, would he then return to the Labour Party? Would the Labour Party accept him with open hands if that is the case? If that doesn't happen, I mean, who would the Labour Party then field in 2027?
We're watching to see what happens. If the Labour Party becomes available, we will even prefer, let me be very frank with you, we'll prefer that he contests under the Labour Party because the Labour Party is a different kind of party. It's a party of the Nigerian workers, organized labor. It's a party of the masses. Is a party, even in the last outing, you could see the performance of the Labour Party. So to us, that is even our desire. But if, like I said earlier, if Obi is not made the presidential candidate in the coalition, then it is already dead on arrival.
The coalition is dead on arrival if Obi is not made the presidential candidate. All right, then. Thank you for that particular session, Honorable. I want to talk about the wave of the factions that have been hitting the ruling APC for a while now. The latest report is that the Secretary to Government of the Federation, former Babachir Lawal, has dumped the party, stoking fears of an internal implosion within the APC. One would say, actually, or could see or reason that opposition figures and opposition parties are very happy if it is the case. Also, you saw about 2 weeks ago the resignation of the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, due to speculations that the APC wants to draw in Kwankwaso of the NNPP to be running mate to Tinubu in 2027. I mean, how does the Labour Party and other opposition parties feel about that? Do you really think, despite the solid face that the APC is trying to put up and to rubbish this opposition coalition, that there are serious fears within the APC of what could happen ahead of 2027?
Well, even though your voice was cracking, I could not hear you very well. Let me just say that the turbulences in any other party, the turbulences we have in the APC or any other party, they are all indications that Nigerians, need a more organized system to recruit leadership. And it starts with the political party. So if people are now running again from the APC, it shows also that the leadership there is even the people, the members of the party, are not okay with it. And so all that we have now open to us is to have a leader, a platform that will avail itself with a person that Nigerians have seen. They have seen his performance. They have seen his. They can read his lips. They know about his integrity. They have heard about his vision, and he practices what he preaches. A lot of these people cannot tell you they practice what they preach. They just come to the public and talk. But when it comes to practice, they don't. But Mr. Peter Obi has been proved to practice what he says. And so Nigerians are aware of this. So whatever direction it goes, the best bet for Nigerians, the best bet for the coalition, if they really want to take Nigerians out of the terrible situation we find ourselves today, is to use any platform and avail Peter Obi the platform. Whichever platform, if it is Peter Obi today, I can tell you, it will be a forgone story.
All right then. About 3 days ago, Dele Momodu in a video talked about how only a northerner can challenge President Tinubu. Now, he said that any southerner claiming that they can defeat the president in 2027 is just wasting their time. But then, I mean, for the next 5 to 6 years, at least until 2031, it's supposed to be the turn of a southerner based on the whole unofficial agreement. But then, even as that has been the case, you see a lot of different people with presidential ambition coming up and contesting. Atiku still has his presidential ambition. We talked about this a few minutes ago, but then do you agree with what Dele Momodu is saying? Even if it is not Peter Obi, he feels that only a northerner can defeat President Tinubu right now, probably because of the dissent in the northern part of the country. You see different videos of northern youths pulling down billboards and banners bearing the president's name and his face because they know they cannot get through to him. In fact, one time we saw someone looking as if they were charging towards the president until the president's security detail actually curled that. With the amount of dissatisfaction across the country, is it true that only a northerner can unseat President Tinubu in 2027?
Northerner can remove President Tinubu is still living in the past. That's the truth. Because we have gone past that stage. If Nigerians have a southerner, like I said earlier, that they can believe in, if the Nigerians have a southerner that is a good alternative, they will vote for him, irrespective of whether they are from the north or from the south. But I can also tell you that Nigerians across are aware that this power is supposed to be in the south for 8 years. Buhari, as a northerner, was there for 8 years. And so power is in the south, and it has just been there for 2 years. If anybody is coming out with a proposal that power should come back to the north just 4 years after, then that person is actually not being real with himself or herself. So I think the people that are saying so are only self-centered people who don't know the reality of what we have today on the ground. Because we have the south, we have the middle belt, we have the corner. And I can tell you, anybody who talks like that is not aware of what is on the ground today. It is a southerner that can remove, but a southerner that has integrity, a southerner that is known, a southerner that is vibrant, a southerner that they know his vision has been tested like Peter Obi. And if you have such a southerner, I'm telling you, the job is finished.
The job is finished. Let's talk about the situation of the Labour Party at this moment. Even though Peter Obi says he remains a bona fide member of the party, while he continues conversations with the opposition coalition under the vehicle of the ADC ahead of 2027. You obviously support the Nenadi Usman caretaker committee that is also supported by Peter Obi and Abia State Governor Alex Oti. But then there is the Julius Abure faction. Let's not even talk about Lamidi Apapa and his people. How's the Labour Party preparing ahead of 2027? If their golden goose or the beautiful bride that is Peter Obi wants to run under the ADC, like I asked before, does it mean the Labour Party will just hold or will not hold their primaries when it's supposed to hold, waiting for Obi to come back, or hoping that the ADC coalition issue will not work out for him and he can come back and still sustain that momentum with the Labour Party? What becomes of Julius Abure if, the Nenadi Usman caretaker committee is actually making more waves?
Like every other political party, we're exploring all internal measures to resolve our problems. But above all, there is a Supreme Court judgment on the issue, and which I told you earlier, that we've taken the certified true copy of that judgment to INEC, and INEC said they will commit it to their legal department and they will make a pronouncement. We're still waiting for INEC to make that pronouncement. And so it depends on what INEC says. If INEC makes their pronouncement, but we will not stop working on our party. We're still members of the same family. And like I said earlier, if the platform of the ADC does not work for Peter Obi, we have told him, if he's not made the presidential candidate, we will want him in the Labour Party. And we hope that sooner or later, our issues will be resolved, because we have reached that point.
Let's talk about his running mate in the 2023 elections. I'm talking about Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. What becomes of him with this coalition that is happening? Because you do not expect the coalition to hand the presidential and vice presidential ticket to the same people who were the flag bearers of the Labour Party in 2023. I mean, what are the plans underway for him?
You see, when it is a coalition issue, if it's a coalition issue, different people from different backgrounds, from different political party platforms are coming together. So if Peter Obi is made a presidential candidate, you know, the members of the coalition may decide and that they should be given the chance to present an acceptable running mate. So if it is not the 2023 running mate of Peter Obi in the Labour Party, I believe the man is honorable and very patriotic, and he's a statesman that, in the interest of the nation, he will work together with Peter Obi, because they are working together. They are working together, and they will work together just to ensure that we have a visionary leadership in place that will take over and place Nigeria once more on the path of glory that we so desire.
One reason why a lot of Nigerians actually like and support Peter Obi is because they believe that he's a man of integrity who wants to always do things lawfully, the legal way. He's talked about how every legal and lawful means will be used to remove President Tinubu in 2027. But we cannot continue to act as if we do not have electoral malpractice and malfeasance happen during every election cycle, from intimidation to rigging to vote buying. We have realized that to a very large extent, many times when you seek to do things the lawful way, it seems not to work. So with this coalition and the Labour Party, how are they preparing for any eventualities that might occur, even as the campaign season comes into full gear?
And from our past, in 2023, you know why we were caught unawares? We were told by INEC, following the Electoral Act, that results will be transmitted directly, electronically. And everybody went to relax. But during the game, the rules were being changed. And they involved even manual recording of results. And so that alone changed everything. This time around, we will not be caught off guard. So these are some of where we have actually studied the 2023 general elections. And we have seen all the lapses where we actually were caught, off guard. And nobody will allow that. I'm not just talking about the Labour Party, it's across the other parties that are in opposition today. So in 2027, nobody will allow anybody to tell you that, oh, this result will be transmitted electronically and then they will go and do something otherwise. So we are ready to block all those areas of leakages and to ensure that Nigerians exercise their franchise and come up with a leader that they believe in.
We're rounding up, Honorable Jonathan, and I do appreciate you for joining us. Before you go, I'd like you to give us, I know you're a member of an opposition party, that is the Labour Party, which is in opposition to the ruling APC right now. I'd like to have your own personal assessment of this current administration. President Tinubu seems to want to hold on to power beyond 2027. We see his allies, we see his spokespersons always attacking the opposition, specifically Peter Obi, because we cannot close our eyes to that and act like this is not the person that is always getting the jabs most of the time. What is your assessment of the policies of this administration and how a lot of Nigerians feel that it has led to impoverishment for the ordinary people?
Well, I don't think President Tinubu, personally, I don't think he's the same President Tinubu that we knew in 1999, who came in as a governor of Lagos State. Personally, I've always wondered, is it a different President Tinubu? Because at that time, that was the time I was in the House of Representatives under the PDP. And President Tinubu was a governor under the AD. And the man was so, he was like a political genius. He held onto the AD in the Western Zone and ensured that nothing went out of that zone, Without him, he was everywhere. He was calculative. He was like a political genius. But today, you look at things that are happening, it appears as if he's no longer in charge. It appears as if old age or senility has caught up with him. So truly speaking, that is even my personal fear about him, going further beyond 2027. If he was a Tinubu that I knew in 1999, from 1999 to 2003, or maybe beyond 2007, one may not even be afraid. But today, what we're seeing, look at the insecurity. Look at, you just mentioned, when he went to Benue. I mean, he went there, I watched when he had that town hall meeting, and I wept, and I said, look, this is not the President Tinubu I knew. He could not make a pronouncement when hundreds of people are being killed, and the president goes there. He could not even go to the spot where the massacre took place. And so I'm afraid if he goes beyond 2027, it may be worse, because it appears he is not very much coordinated to be able to hold on. It's some other mafia or some other cabal that may take over Nigeria and may plunge this country into much deeper suffering if we take him beyond 2027. And that is why we want a more balanced, a more charismatic leader, a more visionary leader, a leader of integrity that I've said in the person of Peter Obi, to take over and provide us with another roadmap for this country to get out of this, doldrums.
Finally, before you go, Honorable Jonathan Ashake, a lot of Nigerians who are not supporters of Peter Obi or the Labour Party or his obedient movement are of the opinion that he's being painted like a saint. It's almost as if you cannot find any dirt on him, the way he speaks, the way he acts, the way his supporters act, the way they flare up. When he's talked about maybe in a negative manner, that he's being propped up as a saint and no politician is a saint. What is your response to that?
Let me tell you, Peter Obi is a man of impeccable character, impeccable integrity. If he was not that, I'm telling you by now, Peter Obi will not be running. He cannot even talk. He cannot even join. He cannot even go out. But tell me one particular leader now that goes around, even internationally, that has earned the respect, apart from former President Goodluck Jonathan. Tell me one leader that is alive today in this country that has earned the respect of the international community like Peter Obi? I don't think there is any. So Peter Obi is a man of impeccable character and integrity. He has been tested by Nigerians, and Nigerians believe in him, and Nigerians are waiting for him to come and save them out of the situations we have found ourselves.
We have to go, but I must thank you, Honorable Jonathan Asake, the 2023 Labour Party governorship candidate of Kaduna State and the past president of the Southern Kaduna People's Union. Thank you so dearly for joining me this evening on The Political Lens. I do appreciate you. Your analysis, your presence has made all the difference this evening. We hope when we reach out to you next time, you will oblige us with your presence.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you so much and have an amazing evening. We'll have to leave now, but the conversation is not over. Join us again tomorrow on The Political Lens, right here on Voice of the People Television. Also, join us on other wonderful programs as we continue to strive to bring you a voice. Jerry Akpelurai will be up next with the issues. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good evening.